Good morning, everyone at Book It Sports. Welcome to my new show, our new show, the Attyah Hour, powered by the one and only Book It Sports app. Book It Sports is a social media platform connecting the gambling community on one centralized hub. Go download it for free on the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. Guys, I don't know what to do today. There's not a single game on. Not a single game. But we still got a great show. We've got a lot to talk about, lots to recap from an action-packed weekend. And we got the Home Run Derby today too, which is going to be a lot of fun. I've got a pick that I absolutely love that I can't wait to share with you guys. We've got a great guest coming on today, everyone's favorite sports bettor on TikTok, taking the points. Dude's an absolute legend, to say the least. So we're going to speak with him, talk about NBA bets last night and going into game 4 in Milwaukee. We're also going to talk about the McGregor and Poirier. The trilogy was this weekend. And then talk about some MLB futures as well as we take an all-star break that we all desperately needed. MLB has been so fluky, especially the last 2 weeks leading up to the all-star break. So I'm looking forward to getting a break, actually just sitting back, pondering some futures, and getting right back into it later this week. But first, let's go right into the NBA Finals, Game 3. What a game that was. Really not really at all. Bucks blowout. Won by, I think, 20-plus points. Great game by Giannis. Great game by his supporting cast. Bucks went on to steamroll. I was on the under at 220 and Bucks money line, a little two-team parlay. It was like plus 200 odds, I believe. For all who had the under, you know that was the sketchiest game ever. The under was looking fantastic. It started at 222 and a half a day before the game, and then it went all the way down to 220 right before game time. Quick backstory, one of our cappers on the Book It Sports app, Sharp Dimes, gave out a free, or actually, no, it wasn't free. This was a 3-unit premium play. So I ended up purchasing that. And of course, it was on the under at 222. And of course, in his analysis, he goes, your ceiling number here is 222. Wouldn't take it any lower. And, you know, classic me, right? I go and immediately purchase the pick, go to the lines.
4.
And what was that?
4.
The floor number. Yes, floor number. But I go place the bet, see it's at 220. I'm like, screw that. I'm not buying points on this. I'm just going to take it at what it's at. Of course. What do they score? Exactly right on the money, 220. So those who did buy the half point or the point or got it the day before, you guys cashed. But I unfortunately pushed, so I basically had a straight bet on Bucks ML. Ended up making $150. We'll take it. I mean, I thought I was going to lose, so we'll take that as a major W. But yeah, that was insane. I can't help but think about all the guys around the country who had the under in this game, sitting on the couch watching the game with their wives, right? Absolute blowout, 20-point lead in the fourth quarter, and this guy's still on the edge of his seat, just absolutely sweating out this under. Wife's like, honey, why are we still watching this game? Husband's like, God, this is great basketball. We're watching NBA Finals. Got to watch till the final whistle. It's not over till the final whistle. 3-pointer in the corner, meaningless 3. I forget who shot it, but oh my God, 30 seconds left. Absolutely stung me. And then we go back the other way. Abdul Nader shoots one for himself. Nobody around him. 3-pointer. Someone on the Book It Sports app said, my butt cheeks were clenched when that ball went in the air. I couldn't agree more. That shot right there had so much money on the line, and no one was even thinking about it unless you had the over or the under. And thankfully, Abdul Nader missed it. 220, right on the money. That shot goes in, everyone loses for the under because that would have gone over. Speaking of the over-under and the NBA picks, we got the one and only taking the points, JJ Gruden in the house, JJ,
What is
pleasure
good?
to have you on the show, brother. How we doing?
I'm doing fantastic, man. We're about to hit this drought though in sports
I
betting. We
know,
talked about it earlier.
dude.
It's
Dude,
like
I
going
know.
through it's like going through a desert, and the only entertainment I get is like before I go home, I have to make odds what my wife's gonna cook me for dinner. It's like minus 130 leftovers, plus 110 order out, plus 500 she makes something. So that's the only action I'm gonna be getting here the next like 45 days until football season starts.
Literally, dude. Literally. I don't it's going to be pretty weird the next couple of days. And we're officially in the dog days of summer. You know, all we have is baseball. As soon as this NBA Finals is over, it's just baseball. It's going to be tough. I mean, we got to get out alive somehow, right? So you
Yeah,
were on the under last night. Correct me if I'm wrong there. What'd you have it at?
I had it at 221.5. Right before tip off, I saw it. Right before tip off, I saw it get under 220. It was like 220. People were hitting me up, telling me, should I take it at 219.5? I'm freaking out. I mean, it's up to you, But yeah, it was absolutely electric. I mean, that 3-pointer in the corner at the end of the game, meaningless three. Of course, it comes down to that, And luckily, it hits the back of the iron and falls out, and all the relief just comes out. It's like shooting out a load, and you're good. So, it was definitely satisfying seeing that brick.
I know. Finally, I'm on the right side of some fluke shit because it always goes the other way. I'll take a push any day of the week. I was already expecting to lose that, but thankfully Abdul Nader can't hit a 3-pointer with nobody around him because that would have been absolutely devastating. And the under was looking absolutely fantastic in the first half. Both teams, were slow paced, and it was, really just ground and pound basketball in the first half. Then we get to the third quarter, and like the only thing we can't have happen is an 80-point third quarter, and we're chilling. Guess what? I think they scored like 84, dude. Like, yeah. I was like, dude, there's no way it hits in the fourth. There's no way we get a 25-point fourth quarter. What was your thought? What was going through your head in the third quarter when nobody was missing shots?
The third quarter, it kind of freaked me out just a little bit just because Milwaukee needed to step on Phoenix's throat that quarter. Yes. They weren't technically out of it, and that's what they did. They put up, I believe it was 38 points to Phoenix's 31. So it was, it was a 69-point quarter. But overall, I mean, you had to expect that. But then once I saw them jump out to that large lead, I knew ball control was going to happen in the fourth. My thought process, okay, I'm 40% sure this is still going to hit. You're not above 50%. You're still nervous, but in the back of my mind, I think I still had good odds going into the fourth quarter, but I was definitely nervous. That's for sure.
Yeah, I saw a live line at one point in the game. The live over under was 235. Insane. And the Suns shot almost perfectly in that third quarter, and somehow their deficit got bigger, which is insane. I think that at one point they were like 9 for 10 from the field, and they somehow increased their deficit. And, I think this series just got a lot more interesting because, after that absolute blowout beatdown by the Bucks last night, can the Bucks take game 4?
Look, and this is my hot take on that. You got to think going back to the Bucks and Nets, what the Bucks did to Brooklyn. They were down 2-0 to start that series. They ended up coming back winning in 7. I think the same thing is going to apply here. You got the Bucks down 0-2 going into Phoenix their first 2 games. Obviously, they lost both. They didn't look good. Giannis coming back from injury. They came back and looked spectacular. That was the Bucks team I was expecting all series long. Now they come home. They're going to play again. Whatever is it, tomorrow or Wednesday? Whenever they play again next, the Phoenix need to win that game. If they don't win this game, they're going to lose the series. In my opinion, I'm going to take the Bucks. I think the value is there to take the Bucks to win the series, just because I think without Torrey Craig, without Dario, they're going to have some trouble with DeAndre Ayton when he gets in foul trouble. And you saw that last night. Who's going to stop Giannis on that Suns team if DeAndre is going to be in foul trouble? He's going to be playing soft too. So I fully expect the Bucks to come out strong again in game 4. And I really think that they're going to take that victory. And the Suns are going to have their back against the wall going back to Phoenix. If they lose that game, they're really screwed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Same spread, same total for game 4. Bucks -4, totals 221. Do you have any early leans?
I'm all over the Bucks, and all over the Bucks -4. I mean, just seeing Giannis playing the way he has, he asked for help last year. He asked management to go get him help or he's gone. They went out. They got Drew Holiday. He's been playing phenomenal defense. I think he's the best defender on the
Absolutely.
Bucks, and he's definitely been a playmaker, what they needed. Early on, he was missing layups early in the series. He didn't do a great job offensively, but defensively, he's there. And to have him on their team to kind of help them out in the moment is helping Giannis tremendously. Even though Giannis dropped 2 back-to-back 40 burgers, he's still helping out defensively, you can obviously see it. So Chris Paul, man, if he really wants this championship, I do have a future on him to win MVP. But I'm definitely going to hedge, and I'm going to be taking, the Milwaukee Bucks probably. I'm probably going to sprinkle $100 on them. I don't know what the line's at right now. It's probably like plus 220. Correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't look coming into this, but I would definitely think about loading up or taking the Bucks for just a little bit. Just sprinkle a little bit on top.
Absolutely. No, I think that's the move. 4.5 is now the spread. Before the show started, it was 4. Now it's a 4.5. Let's look at what the line is currently at for the series price. For the NBA Finals, I'm seeing 2-0. What was that? 207 for Bucks to win the series. Wow, Suns minus 260 to win the series. Bucks plus 206 to win the series. You think there's value on that Bucks to win the series?
100%. 100%. If you're someone who didn't get action early on any of these teams, I think now the action is take Milwaukee, because if Milwaukee wins this game, that's going to shoot back down. I think the Suns will end up being probably minus 170 right where the series started. Now you're going to best of 3. But the best part about that is you have more momentum going the Bucks' way, because they have that 2-game win streak right now going in. So they got to go back to Phoenix. They go back to Milwaukee. But the momentum right now will be there for Milwaukee. But that's if they win their game coming up. They have to win that game. But I think just value is there. Putting a couple, a unit or two on that. I mean, just getting that value is huge for sure.
Absolutely. And I'm looking at the line right now. But when the show started, over under was at 221. It's now at 220, which we all know how important that point is.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. But again, it's the Milwaukee defense right there. I mean, if Milwaukee wins games, they hold teams under that they were supposed to hold them to. I took Chris Paul a couple nights ago for a max play, ended up losing. But if Milwaukee can hold Phoenix under 105, 110 points, they should be able to win the game, no problem. Their defense showed, and that showed on game 3 of what their defense is capable of doing, for sure, 100%.
And you posted an interesting stat last night. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was Chris Paul's 0-12 when, was it Scott Foster or something is the referee?
Yeah, it's crazy. Someone sent me that stat. Someone sent me that DM stat. I had to check it, and sure enough, it's true. Sure as shit. He's 0-11 going into playoff games, Chris Paul. And when he lost that, I immediately thought Scott Foster being the reason why Milwaukee won. But hey, good for Milwaukee. Props to Milwaukee. They still capitalized on that trend, and that's a trend I'm definitely going to keep in my pocket for if he officiates game 6 or game 7.
That's insane. So is he not on game 4?
I'm not sure if the officiating crew came out yet. I think it usually comes out a day before, so look out for it today. But typically, a different crew will come in to rejuvenate the crew that ref beforehand.
Word, got it. All right, so you're on Bucks minus 4. You're a big player prop guy. Do you have any player props that you're looking at?
Again, man, the one I'm going to be looking at is DeAndre Ayton for sure. And it's interesting because, again, I said it earlier, they don't have any backups for him. They don't have Dario. You saw Frank Kaminsky come in, and he looks fat, slow, and to be honest with you, look like a YMCA basketball player. I don't think that he's going to be any much of a threat. So I think DeAndre Ayton's going to be playing very, very soft on defense, which will allow him to get in position for rebounds. But he might not be as hardcore as he normally would be if he has to box someone out, maybe hold someone down. But his size is going to be good enough. I'm going to be definitely looking at his rebound over. He was definitely on pace last game, but he got into some foul trouble. And that could have been one of the reasons why Milwaukee ended up surpassing Phoenix as well. So, he had a big start. I can see it continuing. Brook Lopez doesn't do much down low. Giannis is a great, defender down there. But if DeAndre Ayton's down there, he can swallow up some boards. So I'm going to be looking at it. I don't think his player props come out yet, but 11.5, 12.5, I can see it being around there. I would definitely take that over.
What did he have last game? You remember?
I believe he had 18 points, 9 boards. But again, he didn't play like the entire fourth quarter. They gave up basically. Starting out, he started out hot. He had 12 points, 3 boards, 4 boards. He was on pace, but then he got into some early foul trouble. So, I like DeAndre Ayton. I think he can play a little bit smarter. The team needs him, but he's going to be there being a man in the paint, getting up boards, and that's what he's there to ultimately do.
Absolutely. Well, game 4 that's on Wednesday, 9:00 Eastern time. Absolutely looking forward to sweating that out with you and locking in some action. Quick transition here. I saw you've been posting some content about the NFL season coming up, and you had some early leans and some early plays, some futures bets maybe. Anything loaded up for you?
Right now, I have a win. So I have 3 in right now. So I have the Giant over/under win total over 7.5 wins. I think that they're a very good football team. I believe it's actually 7. I think they're underrated. I think Aaron Judge is a great coach. He had them on track last season. He kept them in many games, especially with no Saquon, a lot of injuries on that offensive line. Defensively, they weren't that great, but they came together towards the end. And I think Daniel Jones knows that this needs to be the time he turns things around, or it's going to cost him his job. And I think the pressure's on him. They went out in free agency, did some good things. So I like that over. They're already in a weaker division. Philadelphia Eagles aren't very good. I took their team under 6.5 wins. I just don't see them being any kind of threat whatsoever. And I saw a Jalen Hurts player prop, which absolutely baffled me. He had an over-under at 700.5 rushing yards, right? And Kyler Murray is set at 675.5 rushing yards. Now, Vegas basically just says, we're going to have a better year. Jalen Hurts is going to have a better year than Kyler Murray. And I think I believe him. You had a small sample size of him. He ended up having 5 games last year and 300 rushing yards under his belt. I think the pass rush is going to come after him, but he can use his feet a little bit, mobile out of the pocket. He'll have about 12 rushing attempts per game. I do like that over. Actually, I really like it. I'm going to believe Vegas because, they're saying he's going to have over 700, and that's a lot for a first-year starting quarterback. So I'm taking that over. I'm taking Vegas's word.
Wow. Anything else? Is that all you got so far? Over Giants, 7 wins, under Eagles, 6.5, and Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, there's some other ones too, man. I'm still going to be doing a lot of studying, especially during that drought. I'll be coming up with some more. I bet about 20 to 30 player prop futures per year. It's crazy. I have so much stuff going on. I have to keep an Excel spreadsheet with all my stats on there. But receiving core is definitely something I want to look at. Which one's really going to be interesting is who finishes out with the most receiving yards. I have 5 different receivers who I think are going to be very, very good this year that are really underestimated. They had a huge year last year. And some of these guys are like Calvin Ridley. He has no more Julio Jones. I think he has a breakout season this year. I believe he's on a contract year as well. I'm definitely going to be looking at his over-under receiving yard total. It should be around 1,200, maybe 1,300 yards. But I think he has a huge year. Another guy who I really like who exploded last year was Justin Jefferson, man. This guy is an absolute freak of nature. Having Adam Thielen as a guy, as almost like a decoy, really put no pressure on him. Now teams are going to start to really influence on him or emphasize on him on defense because of the way he ended up last season. Another guy like CD Lamb, he had no Dak Prescott last year. I think with Dak and the way that run game works is going to open a lot of play action, and I can see him getting some balls deep. So I'm going to look at his over-under. And another guy who I really like is Scary Terry McLaurin. I think that Ryan Fitzpatrick really likes to throw the ball deep downfield. He gives no shit, and he's going to definitely look for Terry McLaurin down the field, and I think that's a good one too. And then, of course, my guy Stephon Diggs. I think he's going to have a lot of receptions this year. The way he's utilizing that Bills offense is something to watch for as well. I think he has another.
Absolutely. You're getting me hyped. You're getting me hyped for fantasy football. I had Justin Jefferson on my team last year. Absolute steal.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
Absolute steal.
My brother is really good in fantasy football, and he actually took Jefferson in the 7th round. Jefferson was going late, but he's like, I love Jefferson. He's gonna have a breakout year, and sure as shit, man, he was right. So I gotta give him a lot of credit.
Went off. Well, appreciate you sharing your picks with us, looking into the NFL season. Quick, I want to hear quick gambling story. What's the craziest gambling story you've got to share with us?
Oh man, let's see here.
First thing that comes to mind.
Well, you already know my one video went viral of you answering that question with that, with the Houston Rockets OKC over under. I don't know if people have
Oh,
heard about
yeah.
that story, but I mean, the over under total was set at 209.5. The first half ended at what it was. It was like 78-69. You're thinking that you're on track to hit that over easy. 209 points. That's 147 points, whatever, at the end of the first half. Crazy. Houston ends up having the worst shooting performance ever in the NBA. They end up coming out in the third quarter putting up 10, and in the fourth quarter putting up 8 points. I missed the over by 7 points. It absolutely hurt my feelings. I was out, I was buying shots with everybody. I had a big bet on it at the time. I was a 23-year-old college student. I'm pumped up. I'm like, this is money, blah, blah, blah. Let's go. And then sure enough, I come back home drunk, and I look at it. I have to relook at it because I'm seeing 2, and lost. So I lost a bunch of money spending on drinks at the bar. I lost that bet. It was not a good hangover Sunday, that's for sure.
Dude, I had the Rockets money line in that game, and it was incredibly juiced up. And it was the last leg of a parlay to cash out a ridiculous amount. And oh my God. So I feel you. I feel you, dude. Brutal.
Yeah.
Absolutely brutal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is what it is. It's gambling for a reason, but that's definitely one of the worst beats I've ever had. And I'll probably remember that for the rest of my life.
Absolutely. Do you got any picks for tonight's home run derby?
I do. So I just released a video actually. My guy Juan Soto, and I think honestly, whoever wins that first round matchup between Juan Soto and Ohtani is going to probably end up winning the whole thing. But you got to ski P. Alonso too. He's a scary motherfucker as well. So I'm going to go with Juan Soto. I live in Northern Virginia. I'm a big Nationals guy, and I saw him hit a nuke off his left knee up to the upper decks of right field. So after seeing that, if he has some energy to kind of, show out Ohtani, I think that he wins. I don't think it can go wrong. He's like almost 10-1. So you can put a unit on him and then put maybe 2 units on Ohtani at plus 250 or plus 225. You can win 3 with Ohtani if Juan Soto loses, but then you can win 10 or 8 if Ohtani loses. So you kind of back up there and you have someone definitely going on to the second round and playing. So I think that's my strategy going in. I think it's a good one. And then I like the over 515.5 longest home run. I think the balls are going to be juiced. I think the forecast said 10-mile-per-hour winds outward. If a right-handed batter can come in and hit that over the left-hand ball, I don't know if it carries or if it counts, if it rolls or whatever it is, but I kind of like that over as well. I think someone hits a bomb tonight.
Absolute moonshot. 515. Jeez. That's insane. Well, looking forward to watching that tonight. Hey, JJ, thank you for stopping by. It was a pleasure. Love seeing you on the Book It Sports app. Love hanging out in your live streams. If you're not following JJ on TikTok or on Book It Sports, it's at Taking the Points. Go give him a follow. You're missing out on some great content. But it was a pleasure having you. Thanks for stopping by, brother.
Hey, Trent, anytime, man. Congratulations on the show, man. You're doing a great job, dude.
Hey, thank you very much. We'll definitely be having you on again soon.
Sounds good. Take care.
All right. See you, brother. That was Taking the Points, the absolute legend, son of Jay Gruden, for those who didn't know. Absolute beast. He's the man. Go give him a follow. He's posting content all the time. He's got picks for everything, and he's gambling every day, just like all of us. That's what it's all about. Transitioning to McGregor, guys. Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier. I hope you learned your lesson, McGregor bettors. I spent how long trying to convince you not to bet on him? How long? And Nick Yale, you still bet on him.
I did indeed still bet on him.
You still put money on him.
Well, my UFC sources said that McGregor had a chance. I mean, he was plus money. Dude. It was a value bet.
Who are your UFC sources, and what did they tell you?
One of my buddies watches all the UFC fights. Like, he watches every single UFC fight, and he said that McGregor had a shot, had a better shot than before. And, it just the narrative. I mean, I said this before, that the narrative wasn't there for McGregor to win this fight. You have Poirier, who's the up-and-coming fighter. You have McGregor, who's kind of out the door, but he makes all the money. And, it was just upsetting that it happened on a kind of a fluke situation there in the first round. But rightfully so, he was getting his ass kicked.
He was getting whooped. I'll be honest, though. I felt when Conor was walking out into the ring, I was concerned.
You were a little bit nervous.
I was so nervous because he was he looked way more hungry, ready to just dominate this fight than he did in the previous fight in number 2. I knew right away in number 2 when I had 10 grand on McGregor that he was done. He was losing this fight. He did not look confident. He did not look like he wanted to be there at all. And then come fight 3, it was a completely different McGregor that was walking out. I was concerned because I had units on Poirier, and I was concerned. And he came out of the gates hot, started swinging, got him in that guillotine early. And I was like, oh, shit, is this actually about to happen? And then reality kicked in. Poirier gets back on top of him, elbowing the shit out of him.
That was a bad move by McGregor because Poirier is a good defender.
Yeah.
And he almost did have him, but he kind of left himself pretty vulnerable there going because then, Poirier just got on top of him and finished him off.
Yeah. And then, of course, the leg just absolutely snaps. Like, I can't even watch that replay. It's so gross. And then he's talking shit on the ground. I thought it was a pretty hilarious moment when Poirier gets his hand raised and McGregor can't even stand next to him, and he's still talking shit. Like, what? Is there going to be a 4th fight?
No, I don't think so. I don't think you can have a 4th fight after that because it's McGregor. Are we just going to wait till McGregor wins? Like it's not a good narrative.
Yeah,
it's not a good narrative.
It's not. And I feel for McGregor because you can't go out like this. You got to get back in the ring and at least end it on a good note. But like you said last night, Nick, it's like he's going to end his career, keep swinging at bats and potentially just keep taking L on L on L. It's like, how do you end on a good note? I hope you guys don't place another $1 on that man. Please save your coins. I'm sure you felt exactly like I did after the second fight because a lot of people were shitting on me for taking Poirier. A lot of people. Of course, Ozzy had a huge parlay that included McGregor in it. It was Italy and McGregor, the McPasta. Sorry, Ozzy, that didn't hit, unfortunately. But, those were the easiest units I've ever made. Poirier was the biggest lock since Poirier the last fight. Seriously.
Poirier did say after the fight that they're going to fight again, whether it's in the octagon or in the street. That's what he said.
Really?
So he's not happy.
With what there's just no closure. There's no closure to this. I wouldn't blame him if he wants to fight because he's probably not getting the credit that he deserves. If his leg didn't break, he would have because he would have ended him. You'd be on the floor, knocked out. I know a lot of people were freaking out about the over-under rounds because it was called a doctor stoppage, which who knows what that means in the betting world, right? But it's ruled a TKO, so the fight did not go over a round. It ended in the first round. And a lot of people were like, what's going to happen with my bet? Is it voided? No way this should count. It counts. It's a certified TKO, 1 round, did not go to 2 rounds. So that was very unfortunate for some. Absolutely feel for you guys who had the over 1 round because that's pretty brutal. So please don't bet on Conor McGregor anymore. I hope you guys learned your lesson. Surely you did. Who knows when we'll see him back in the ring again. It's pretty crazy because McGregor got paid $20 million for that fight, and Poirier got paid $1 million. And Poirier is definitely, I would say right now, the better fighter. And it's unfortunate because you could put anybody up against McGregor and, it's going to sell. And it's going to get a lot of pay-per-view. It's going to do well. But, I saw this video of Dana White, like, going up to McGregor in the ring, like, congratulating him for whatever reason and shaking his hand. And then Dana White walks right past Poirier, doesn't even congratulate him, doesn't even respect him, doesn't even give him a handshake or anything. And it's like, what the heck? This guy just proved himself against one of the greatest in Conor McGregor, and he's not even getting the respect. So I feel for Poirier. I would love to see a fight for, and I would absolutely put everything I own on Poirier again because he's the better fighter. And Conor McGregor is the name that everybody just wants to hammer when really there was no way he was ever going to win that fight. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It just wasn't. And then the second leg of my parlay, the Poirier pasta, Poirier, check. The pasta, check. Italy beats England in penalties, PKs. You know what that line was for it to go to PKs? Plus 450. That was a steal. I mean, of course, who knew it was going to go to PKs? Granted, I knew this shit was drawn. I knew it. There's footage of me saying we already know this is going to draw. This had draw written all over it. Draw was plus 190 for the 90 minutes. And Italy had that late goal in the 70th minute, I believe. That was so lit. Needed that one. I had Italy to lift the trophy. So I learned my lesson, not taking regulation bets anymore in soccer. Just give me the damn game and we'll call it there. You know, I don't care what happens in between the 90 minutes. I just want whatever team's going to have more points at the end of the game. Give me that bet. And that's what I took. I took Italy as a pick'em along with Poirier, and both of those smacked. But what a PK sequence of events we had there at the end. Italy went up first, scored, looking great, and England missed, right? And then it goes back the other way. Italy missed, England makes it, went back and forth, back and forth. Then England missed 3 in a row. That 19-year-old kid, I don't know his name, missed the last PK of the game. I feel for that kid because I saw this morning he's already getting death threats and shit. And it's like, come on, dude. The kid's 19 years old playing for his national team. Give him a break. Give him a break. But that was an incredible game. I think there's only been one Euro final that's gone to PKs in like the 1970s. So we saw some history in the making. Could be so wrong on that. Could be so wrong. But I believe that's what the broadcaster said in the game yesterday. But what a final that was. I'm going to miss it. I can't wait, honestly, for the World Cup. We got some more soccer tonight, the Gold Cup. I saw that there's 2 heavy favorites here. I don't know which one it was. It was either Jamaica or Costa Rica. But the 2-team parlay, one of them is minus 900 or 1,000, something ridiculous like that. But if you parlayed the 2 games, Costa Rica and Jamaica, it's like minus 200 odds. Are we going to ride that? There's nothing else to ride today other than the Home Run Derby. Are we going to ride that or what? I need to know. Tag me on the Book It Sports app. I need someone to convince me and I'll ride it. But I'm not just going to do this shit alone because couldn't tell you anything about either team at all. So if you want to ride, if you have any picks, betting the pitch actually on the Book It Sports app said he was going to be dropping some plays. So I don't know if he's dropped them yet, but stay close because he's going to be dropping some plays and he's already getting a lot of respect from people in the community based on his performance during the Euro final. And there's also some FIBA action too, some international basketball. USA is playing Australia, Argentina, and Nigeria. Back up for a second. USA lost to Nigeria this weekend. Nigeria was plus 1,400, which means you put $100 on that. That pays out $1,400.
That's not even plus 1,700 at one point.
Plus 1,700. That's absolutely insane.
USA was minus 10,000.
Minus 10,000.
I jokingly told my buddies, I was like, "Hey, just throw $20 on Nigeria." Just like, what's it's burning $20, but like, you know, it was more of a joke than a serious play. But it's like, hey, USA come out flat, just lollipopping around. It's an exhibition game, getting warmed up. So,
I mean, it's disrespectful. Like, they got to be disappointed in themselves. That's embarrassing. Nigeria. I mean, are there any notable players on that Nigerian team?
Yes. The guy from Duke. Tall guy, can't think of his name.
Tall guy from Duke. You hear that? Tall guy from Duke.
I always want to say Joel Embiid.
No, definitely not Joel Embiid.
That's all I'm thinking. He's Cameroon.
Definitely not Joel Embiid. But wow, that's absolutely insane. If you laid the juice,
Jahlil Okafor, that's what I'm thinking of.
Oh, I have no idea who plays for the Nigerian national team. But if you laid the juice on the minus 10,000 in any capacity, you do not deserve any
Yeah.
notability at all.
Precious Achua as well.
Really.
Chat saying they're asking Australia plus 15.5 today.
Plus 15.5.
Sprinkle.
Dude, I don't know because, I mean, which USA team's going to show up today? The one that's going to want to rebound and absolutely demolish them by 50 or the same fluke USA team? So the best bet there is absolutely no bet at all, in my opinion. We'll see, though. All right. Yeah, Euro final, Italy lifts the trophy, plus 105 odds. Hits, thankfully, needed that one. The Pori Pasta. The only thing we have on the slate tonight besides the Gold Cup, the Home Run Derby. It's the All-Star break officially, which means balls are going to be flying. It's Coors Field. Coors Field. I just got a text from my boy Sharp Dimes. Let's see if his picks are officially in. He's typing. Before he sends what he sends, though, Live Locks You, a handicapper on the Book of Sports app. He's got three picks for tonight. Thought I'd share with you guys. Live Locks You is on Gallo at plus 350, 1 unit. He's also on Alonso, plus 450, 1 unit. And he has plus 650 Soto to have the longest home run in the Home Run Derby. That's plus 650 odds. Oh, we just got a text from Sharp Dimes. He goes, here we go. Longest home run length under 5'10.5", which is the opposite side of what our friend taking the points just said. 5'10.5". That's so far. What's the longest home run hit in the last decade? I believe it belongs to some dude on the Rangers. I forget his name. If you guys could look that up for me, that'd be huge.
Derby or non-derby?
Non-derby. It's some dude on the Rangers, and then the other one's like Giancarlo Stanton, I believe. But Sharp Times just said, I think it might pop up a bit more. I still like it at 5'10.5". I would wait on the action to dictate the jumps. So there you have it. Sharp Times is on under 5'10.5", longest home run. And Live Locks U is on plus 450 Alonso and plus 350 Gallo.
Couldn't tell you the longest home run hit in the last decade, but in MLB history, it was 582 feet.
Yeah, wasn't that like
1987?
1980. Who hit that?
Joey Meyer for the Denver Zephyrs. So they count it as professional baseball history. It's not MLB history, but regardless, 582 feet is an absolute nuke.
87 feet.
And it was in Denver, where tonight will be. So keep that in mind.
Wow.
Mile High Stadium, mile-long nukes.
Interesting fact, the longest home run ever hit in professional baseball, 587 feet in Denver, Colorado. That's absolutely insane.
Chat says no Mazzara, 505 feet.
That's who it was.
June 21st, 2019.
Yes.
From Kren Mobius on Twitch.
Yes, that's correct. 587 feet, though. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that under. You just never know. Balls are going to be absolutely nuked tonight. Which brings me to who I am on for tonight's Home Run Derby. Guys, the Home Run Derby, it's coming home. And I ain't talking about England because England choked. It's coming home with Trevor Story at plus 800. The hometown kid is going to win the Home Run Derby tonight. Book it. Write the story and book it. It's coming home. On his home turf. Let me look at the bracket real quick.
Updated odds plus 925.
Plus 925. Why did it move so much?
I mean, he's not going to win.
He's winning.
He's not going to win.
He's winning.
He's got that home field advantage, but
he's winning.
When you got guys like Gallo, Alonso in Colorado,
he's winning. He's winning. I'm putting 2 units on Trevor Story.
He's not winning.
He's winning. Dude, it's going to be somebody that you don't expect. I'm looking at the bracket right now. Trevor Story's got to go through Joey Gallo first round. Going to be tough. But he's got the crowd behind him. And I think he's got more endurance than Joey Gallo. Yes. I mean, Joey Gallo is absolutely red hot right now, dropping absolute nukes. Dude can't stop hitting home runs. He can't. Is he a righty? Gallo's a lefty. Lefty. Shit. What about Trevor Story?
Righty.
Oh, that one hurts. But I'm looking at the Winter Wire post right now on the Book It Sports app. He's got Joey Gallo to win this thing. I'm looking at the bracket. He also has Soto to beat Ohtani. People are skeptical about Ohtani, even though he's the heavy favorite, because he doesn't take batting practice. Juan Soto, Ohtani, that one's a toss-up, I would say.
A lot of the app is on Gallo and Alonso.
Yeah, majority of the Book It
kind of
Sports app, those are the two. That's why I wanted to go against the grain a little bit and find the value. 2 units on Trevor Story would pay out close to $2,000.
If you want some little sabermetrics here.
Sabermetrics, please.
You like the sabermetrics? Ohtani has the highest exit velo and the highest average exit velo and the max exit velo.
For the season.
Out of everyone?
For the season.
Everyone competing in the home run derby.
Wow. That is a sabermetric. I would say the surest lock of tonight's home run derby is Pete Alonso to beat Salvador Perez. I might lay the juice on that. I saw it at minus 255. There's absolutely no way Salvador Perez outswings Pete Alonso.
I hate that. I hate the fact that he's in the derby.
Same.
Just like, I don't know, it doesn't make sense.
How did he get there? How many home runs does
he
have?
can hit him.
No, he's definitely one of the best catchers in the league, if not the best, behind Attyah, of course, defensively. But with the bat, I would say he's definitely the best. Like, give me Salvador Perez over any other offensive catcher in the league, but not in the home run derby.
Our friends at Fast Break Sports are roasting you in the chat, saying you didn't even know what side of the plate Story's on. And you're taking him.
Hey, there's a lot of things I don't know, and I still place action on it. All right, so get out of here. We got Trey Mancini going up against Matt Olson. Mancini is the biggest underdog in tonight's home run derby. I don't think it's worth wasting a unit on him. I really don't. I don't. I would not suggest it. But there's some really good matchups. It's going to be a really good home run derby. I just hope that it's at least a good one. It's not a landslide by any means. For those who remember, Josh Hamilton, 28 home runs in that one round, and he didn't even end up winning, right? Who won that one? Trick question. It was, was it Morneau? I think it was Morneau. Justin Morneau. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. No idea. I think 2010, 2013, something like that. But I think it was Justin Morneau or Todd Frazier. One of the two. Justin Morneau, though, is my guess.
Chat says you are correct.
What about Morneau?
Yes.
Look at that. See, I know a thing or two. God damn it. Put some spect on my name. Some spect.
That's like one of 5 facts that you get correct per show.
All right, so my plays. I'm going to put actually just one unit on Trevor Story as my value pick of the night. But if I'm going to put 3 or 4 units on something, first of all, I'm an absolute psycho if I do that. But it's either Alonso or Gallo for sure. The Book It Sports community is heavily on those two, and I was already on those two, leaning those two anyways. I want to nuke Shohei Ohtani so bad just because I want to nuke something, but I got to be smart with the units here, not just throw around stupid shit just because there's no games on. So I'm going to force myself to take it easy, but I'm definitely going to be placing at least 2 to 3 units on the home run derby tonight, which I'm so pumped for. And then we have the All-Star game. National League, American League, of course, National League's at home. National League is the slight favorite here, minus 115 odds, and then the American League is like minus 105 odds. How do you find an edge here? Like what? I mean, you're in Coors Field, a hitter's park, of course. The over's 11. It was 10.5 when I first woke up this morning. It's now gone up to 11. What are your thoughts on any side here whether it's a total or a team.
There's so many of the guys that aren't playing, which off the bat is kind of,
Sus.
understandable, but yeah, sus. I think the only bet here is to go hit the over, because that's all the best pitchers throwing out there, but it is Colorado. It's the All-Star game. They want to put on a show. You're not going to see like a 3-1 game. And 11 in Colorado, like, should be more like 12.5, 13.5 just for the All-Star game. Like,
I would love to know what the past 5 All-Star game scores have looked like, because that's a lot of runs against.
That's right there.
What?
So historically, the American League usually dominates the All-Star game,
Yeah,
which is why seeing the lines this morning's been kind of weird. But in 2019, AL wins 4-3,
7.
AL wins 8-6, AL wins 2-1, AL wins 4-1, AL wins 6-3, AL 5-3, AL 3-0. And then the last time the NL won was in 2012, and NL won 8-0.
Wait, the NL hasn't won since 2012?
Not won since 2012.
Holy sheesh.
Changes this year. Give me the NL.
Changes. No, I'm
That's crazy though, because historically I would have been wrong. They're lower scoring games.
Yeah,
but
I heard one over in that.
I just think Colorado.
That's the reason it's at 11 right now for sure. But since 2012, the National League hasn't won. That's absolutely insane. I miss when the All-Star game actually meant something, because they took it a lot more seriously. It was actually like they were playing for something. They were playing for home field advantage in the World Series.
Here you go. Jay Wilson in the chat said last time at Coors, 13-8 National League.
And when was that? In like the 70s?
American League, my bad. 13-8.
13-8. So that over absolutely smacked. That shit smacked twice.
2012.
Twice in one game.
That was in 98.
That was in 1998.
That was changed a lot, and that was prime.
Yeah, that's
prime steroid era. Well, guess what? We're in the prime non-sticky era.
There you go.
So balls are going to be flying. Fun fact, though, the over last time All-Star game was in Colorado. It was 13-8. The over hit twice. That's crazy. Well, shit. Now I'm going to have to do a little bit more digging on that. But I'm going to be taking the American League, no doubt. Give me the American League bats any day, please. Please. I'm so pumped for the home run derby tonight. It's going to be a fun one. It really is. So my value pick, Trevor Story, plus 925 odds now, which love that. And then I'm definitely going to be sprinkling on Gallo and Alonso. Everybody else cannot win. Those are my 3 picks. Sharp Dimes has that under 510.5 feet, farthest home run. Live Locks U has Gallo plus 350, Alonso plus 450, and Soto to have the longest home run in the thing at plus 650. Real quick, before we wrap up the show, I do want to talk about some potential futures bets in the MLB and where I think I see value. I'm definitely going to be placing some futures bets before the games start back up again. I've never placed a futures bet before. And I think now is the time, because I want to have something to ride into the postseason.
Correction, you never placed an MLB futures bet before.
When did I place a futures bet?
VGK. NHL.
Oh, yeah, I did place that. I placed that before the season started last year, and they got to the did they get to the finals? No, they did not.
No.
They lost. But that was a value pick. That was my first bet ever in Reno, Nevada. But I do want to play some action on a futures bet in the MLB. I think the value is on the Giants, plus 1,300 odds. I love that. If they can get healthy, if they can get their whole squad back, Yaz, Posey, their pitching, Crawford, they just have depth. They have all the pieces I think you need to make a deep run in the playoffs. Of course, the division rival, the Dodgers, are the heavy favorites. But at plus 450, I ain't touching that. No shot. You know what? I also saw that the Mets had the 5th best odds. How is that How is that a thing? Please. Let me get a World Series here. The Astros are plus 450. Also not going to be touching that. The White Sox, I absolutely love them at plus 850. If I'm going with a long shot, though, there's a team that I just absolutely love. I think that they could make a deep run in a wild card spot and make some noise in the postseason if they're able to get there. At plus 6,000 odds, the Cincinnati Reds are my value pick to win the World Series. Live Locks you. I know you're absolutely loving this if you're watching. And he'll probably tell me, Trent, you're absolutely insane because there's no way that the Reds are going to be able to get there with their pitching staff, their bullpen, and if they're able to stay healthy. But I love I love this team. They've got so many characters on this team, so many role players. Their bats are great. Castellanos is my favorite player in the MLB right now. Not even close. Dude's an absolute stud on and off the field. So the Reds at plus 6,000, I might sprinkle like $50 on that. To win $3,000? Come on, that's value. The Red Sox I also really like at plus 1,200. I just don't think they have the pitching to be able to go all the way. But they've got the experience, and they're playing well as of late. Padres at plus 850. Giants at plus 1,300. Those, I would say Giants and Red Sox and Reds are probably my and White Sox, my 4 favorite futures bets. So I'm probably going to end up deciding between those 4, or I might just sprinkle on all 4. Why not? Heavy returns, make up for losses. So that's where I'm leaning. The Giants, though, are we in an even year right now? No, we're not. It's 2021. So maybe the Giants is not the best pick because Giants only win in even years. They won in 2010, 2012, 2014, and that's it. So maybe that trend's outdated, but I don't know. So those are my value plays, and that's it. Like, what the hell are we supposed to do the rest of the week? We got nothing. We got the MLB Home Run Derby tonight. We got the All-Star Game tomorrow, and then a couple days of nothing. What are we supposed to do? Like tomorrow, we have the AL, NL, and then some more Gold Cup soccer. Day after that, we have Bucks Suns, and then some more Gold Cup soccer. Day after that, we got some golf and some Gold Cup soccer. The Yankees and the Red Sox are the only game that plays on July 15th. Random. And then we got back on July 16th. Oh, so many MLB games. And we're officially in the dog days of summer come July 16th. Nothing else but baseball. Not a damn thing. It's going to be brutal, but we're going to get through it. We're going to get through it. Just think about how happy you're going to be sitting on the couch and you hear 7 hours of commercial-free football. Oh, my God. Please give me that. Inject that into my veins. All right, well, that concludes today's episode of Attyah Hour. Quick couple shout-outs from the users on the Book It Sports app. Shout out DP Drizzy Bets. DP Drizzy Bets. This dude hit a fat parlay yesterday. It was a 5-teamer, $250, paid out $4,300. It was the White Sox, Twins, A's, Giants, last leg, Dodgers. Guess what happened? Max Muncy, walk-off grand slam in the 9th inning, not only to win the game, but to cover the run line. So he had no other way of winning this parlay except if Muncy took it deep. That reminds me of my crazy lay, Jared Walsh covering the over with a gagger in the bottom of the 9th. A double in the gap, that doesn't work. They don't cover the over. Max Muncy hits a gapper yesterday. He doesn't win $4,200. So shout out DP Drizzy Bets. That dude had a weekend. He was on Poirier. He was on Italy. And then he just cashed out a 5-teamer to win 42 units. That's insane. Shout out Gabagool Capper on the Book It Sports app. I saw he just posted some futures bets this morning. He took the White Sox at plus 1,000 or plus 850, took the Astros at plus 450, and then he took the Giants at plus 1,300, all for 1 unit. Really like those value futures bets there. Shout out Parlay Banks, guys. If you don't follow Parlay Banks, this dude is the biggest OG you'll ever meet. Whether you follow him on Instagram or Book It Sports, this guy is an absolute dog, a day one Book It Sports dog. And he hits some nice cheeky lays. I'm talking 6, 7, 8 teamers that have such good value picks in them, and he hits them pretty frequently. So if you're not following Parlay Banks, go give him a follow. And shout out Prava Prave on the Book It Sports app. Very active user, always dishing out locks and his opinions, insights on the Book It Sports app. So if you're not following those guys, DP Drizzy Bets, Gabagool Capper, Parlay Banks, Prava Prave, go give those guys a follow. Just a couple, a sample size of some of the legends we've got on the Book It Sports app. There's tons of them, tons of great, credible sources to follow. Go download it. Book It Sports is available on the App Store and Google Play Store. Go give us a 5-star review if you're enjoying the experience. And always feel free to give us some feedback on where the app could be better, where the show could be better, any ideas you might have. I'm always willing to listen to anyone's feedback who's willing to share it. Any departing final words before we end this show?
No, pretty good show overall.
Great. Thanks for hanging out with us. Shout out Abdul Nader for missing that 3-pointer. That was so big because right now, if that went in, I would be down units. I'd be having to pay up. So thank you, brother. And whoever made the 3-pointer for the Bucks, why'd you have to do that? Why'd you have to do that? It didn't mean shit. It's crazy how spot on Vegas gets. Absolutely crazy. And let this be a lesson to get the line, get your bets in early before the line movement, because damn, that one hurt. I was 30 minutes late at getting at 20 and a half, 220 and a half. Went down to 220. They scored 220. It's insane. Absolutely insane. Well, shout out to anyone who had the under at 220 and a half or above. And shout out to those who pushed with me. I should have just nuked the Bucks -4. That was such a lock. I think it's a lock also going into game 4. But we'll see what I end up taking come that time. We'll be back on Wednesday morning to talk about bets for the NBA's game 3. We're going to have Sharp Dimes as a guest on the show. Looking forward to hearing his plays.
It'll be game 4.
What did I say?
Game 3.
Game 4, not game 3. So we'll be back on Wednesday morning. Please tune in then. We're going to be going over some plays, and it's going to be a good time. And what a great time we had today. Thank you guys for tuning in, stopping by. Have a great Monday. I don't know what the hell we're supposed to do with our time. There's no games to sweat out. But KBO question mark? We'll talk KBO on Wednesday. Thanks, guys, for hanging out, and have a great rest of your day. And always remember, book it. Peace.